Today we're doing a build of the Master Grade Solomon, which is a third-party kit version of the GPO2 phrysalias from Stardust Memories. From here we're going to look at the internal structure of the legs first, which seem to be actually one of the most complicated parts. It's got a lot of interior building, undercuts as you can see, and a lot of pre-colored molded pieces inside, including some pistons and some molded fins in there. So it's really detailed, and you can really take your time just highlighting and, as you see, marking up a lot of the internal structure that eventually will never be seen, but like it really pops. We also have some included stickers in there that go underneath and kind of reveal once the full build is there. And we've got some piping as well as a lot of general understructure. From here we go to the waist design. It's pretty standard Gundam style, independent flaps, independent leg modules so they can rock back and forth on their own, along with some venting and some custom peg systems within the middle. So once again, it's a master grade of a particular design that hasn't had a master grade in a very, very long time. So this was exciting. After having the high grade with very little detail in it, you really pick up a lot of the nuances and the extra piping and really appreciate the underskeleton of it all. Here I'm being naughty and just using my straight knife to do all the stickering and some detail cutting and general cleanup work. Now we go to the main chest part of the body. As you can see, we got a lot of different colored pieces in there, as well as a lot more of those pistons on the inside, which create a nice reveal at the end and give it kind of a little bit of that IBO vibe, where you can really kind of see the under mechanisms. The only thing I can say here is that we have a bit of a light structure in there where you have batteries. Of course, I don't have the particular type of batteries that they use around here, so it's not lighted up currently. But we get some nice light piping through the headstock. This video is kind of an experiment to see if we want to do anything with this channel. Obviously, we don't have the greatest recording equipment, but we try. There is also a Patreon, though we can't guarantee anything for pledge levels yet. But if you want to join, that's at queercast.com. So here we are working on the head. The infamous light piping is coming up again, so there's a lot of silver to increase reflectivity inside of the head. Just peel that off, and we have the old blackout around the eyes, but it does shine through the eyes. There's no reflective material over the eyes themselves, just kind of blacking out the mask. So what's interesting with this model is that it has two faces. It has the phsyalis face and the package width face that we'll go over later. And that's kind of how they get around the copyright, is that they have a face that looks a bit more like a gun cannon that they have in the instructions, but then just on the sprue, they just happen to have pieces for the phsyalis, but no instructions on how to use it. So you'll just look at that and kind of see the Gundam pieces you want to put together. Now onto the arms. It's a symmetrical arm joints, pretty easy. Once again, using the extra piston forms, because there's a lot of great reveals in there, and the inner frame is really well detailed. And what's amazing is that we were able to pick up this kit that regularly goes for over $200 in the United States for around 800 baht here, which is way less. So it's way less than 50 bucks. It's around 50, 60 bucks, depending on the exchange rate. Now for the second most complicated thing on the build here, it is the very infamous backpack launchers. So these have a lot of mechanical moving parts as well as like expanding parts. So this was fun to put together because it has so many different like little reveals in there, along with mechanics and things that you can't really get to later, which is why we're doing a little touch up while we're operating on putting together the inner frame. So we got the little fins in there, which are going to be mostly covered up, but it does have an expansion component to where you'll get nice tiny reveals of all the kind of inner metallics and things. So you really don't have to do a lot of inner painting, but you do have to kind of sticker as you go along, because you will not be able to get into stuff when you're doing your panel lining and finishing later. And here's the assembly of the inner frame, which it looks beautiful as is. This is one of those ones where you can just kind of admire the build, because the inner frame has so much detail, and just greeblies printed all over. Nice firm crisp details, and really pulls together, and you can really feel the Gundam even just as the frame. And here we have the cladding. We're just going to do a montage of all the cladding. As you can see, we've panel lined everything first just to make things a little bit quicker here. If you notice, you get a little preview of the assemblage. And like, it's got so many great lines and greeblies in there. Like, you don't really have to do a lot of work. So on to the final assemblage. So we have our big boots and our waist unit, our head unit. That had really locked in once we got there. So you choose your head and you stay with it. So once again, average hip units, they are individual hip rockers, so you can get a little bit extra movement on the legs there, but it's not really a big kind of stance unit. You definitely want to get this guy flying. So we get the shoulder boosters on. I will say that the shoulder boosters are a little heavy and may start to pull your armor cladding off a little bit, so make sure that you get that arm in really, really tight. And now the piece de resistance here is the shield and the bazooka accessory. So once again, huge amount of greebly detail on the shield inner frame. You can do that up as much or as little as you want. Once again, just a little hit with the metallic marker is great for revealing detail on there. So this has a weird little sliding mechanism for opening the gates that I had to disassemble 2 or 3 times to get to lock in just right. So pay attention and be real delicate with prying on and off the shields, because that cladding, that little metallic plate there, has to set in just right, else it's going to lock in on itself. But once again, has the automatic movement and gets flowing. Now there's the big light kit here is in the bazooka. It has a moving section as well as lighting at both ends. And there's the water slides and the water slide instructions. And here's a little bit more detail of the bazooka. It's got a very narrow little 4-pin thing, so you can't take the bazooka apart and put the long section inside the shield for storage, which is anime accurate, and it'll lock right in there. But you're going to want to have the bazooka shoulder method, and it has this really, really thin 4-pin. So like, once you assemble it, you don't want to disassemble it. And then those are the bucks if you don't want to do the light unit. So you do have the option to do it with or without the light unit. Once again, that's just battery powered, and that locks into the shoulder. And here's some accessories. It's got some nice little vorpaling on the blades, and here's the alternate face. And I'd like to thank everybody that stuck with this rocky first video for the channel. And share, like, and subscribe, and hopefully we'll do more and iron it out later. So have fun and enjoy the Phrysalias.